All of these things together, piled right on top of each other. Exactly why this is so ridiculous. Can we please stop simping for criminals? All right, welcome back to the party, everybody. I am your host, Lunch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Hit that like and subscribe. I promise I would do it for you, and let's party. So I'm very, very, very excited, guys. I am a big fan of actual justice warrior Sean Fitzgerald, and so rarely do I get to actually talk about him on this channel because his work is so concise and well done that I don't really have much to add to it. I did get the pleasure of talking about his famous conversation with Emma Vigilant of the Majority Report on Tim Pool's culture war, but his typical videos that he puts out focusing around crime, crime statistics, law enforcement, that kind of stuff, are usually very tight. But he brought us this, and he kind of just touched on it, which gives me a little bit of space to give you my thoughts. Shout out to Sean Fitzgerald. Definitely go check out his channel, and let's do it.
There are multiple different theories on criminality that are often presented by the media, by the left-wing media, and one of the main ones is this idea that all criminals are Aladdin. They're all just thieves with a heart of gold. They've fallen on some tough times, and they're just one magic genie away from showing you what a great guy that they actually are. Then there's reality. Then there's the things that I present on this channel, which is the fact that thieves are people who are not following the rules of our society. They are dangerous people. They are driving areas into poverty. And if you allow them to go unchallenged, they will continually escalate their poor behavior until the point where people get hurt.
This is something we've known forever. And his saying of, oh, not all criminals are Aladdin, this is something that he says because he covers a lot of Young Turks and Majority Report and a lot of leftist progressive organizations that are constantly making excuses for criminals and are always in the situation where if we have like a Daniel Penny, Jordan Neely situation, are always going to take the side of the Jordan Neelys of the world instead of the Daniel Pennys.
Unlike what is put forward by the left wing, what I say is backed up by reality. What we often see is that the same thieves over and over again are the ones being arrested for a disproportionately high number of the crimes. We've also talked about organized retail theft, where again, due to lax rules on this particular types of crimes, organized crime has moved into these areas, and what these people are doing is making a ton of money selling these products on a secondary market, while at the same time driving the stores out of business, driving areas into poverty, and making our societies overall much, much worse.
That's the reality of what's going on. All of these, I don't even know what to call them, but leftist organizations that will, these news organizations that will basically simp for criminals. And well, they wouldn't be doing that if they didn't have to. What were they doing before they changed the laws? Oh, they were doing lesser crimes because they didn't want to go to jail. And now that you don't go to jail for shoplifting, they're not just shoplifting candy bars and food, but organized retail theft where they're stealing thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, the same group of people over and over and over and over again. So sad. So sad.
Well, a new trend in Sacramento, a new style of robbery, should really go to show you their absolute disregard for human life and for other people. Because now, one of the things that these people are doing in order to steal more expensive items is setting fires in one part of the store in order to distract store employees, so that way they can get away with theft of more expensive items that there might be more security associated with, normally that they would not be able to get out the store without such distractions. And
that is insane. That is insane. You're going to tell me Aladdin is going into stores where there are families and workers and lots of property and just setting fires so they can steal stuff. But it's just because they need to feed their family. And if they don't set fires and put other people in danger, then they might die. No.
But first, fiery fake out. The new lows retail thieves are stooping to as they set their eyes on the merch and set fire.
Children, this is a little girl in a Dollar Tree. A little girl in a Dollar Tree covering her face so that she doesn't get smoke inhalation.
The stores they target.
So the local news opens up with some surveillance video of a fire being set. I believe this fire is actually in a Target. Now, I know a lot of you not in favor of the Targets because of the prides and whatnot, but let's set that aside for a moment and point out that—
yeah, please don't burn down stores regardless of what their political affiliations are.
that whatever you think about the children's section in Target, setting a fire to that children's section is not a good thing to do
No.
when you're trying to steal TVs or whatever
No.
from the electronics section. And that is one of the new trends that we're seeing in the city of Sacramento.
And of course, it's California. If you are not surprised that it is California, you will definitely find a home at the Indian Jesus Discord server where the party never ends. That's right, 24/7. We are in there hanging out. And after every single live stream, we go in there for an after panel where you're not stuck behind your keyboard, but you're actually on screen with me and everybody else. You can cam up if you want to, but you don't have to. Either way, it is a great time. Come and join us.
Live outside of Midtown Target, closed for weeks because of a fire. Are shoppers at risk when they reopen Madison?
Weeks.
Right, that's the
Weeks.
question that we asked. You know, when you see a fence up around the opening doors of a Target, you don't expect it. This one has been closed for nearly a week.
So it's very notable to me that the store is fenced up. It's completely closed because they have to clear out the fire damage. Because not only do these thieves only think of themselves, only think of the retail items that they want to steal.
Yeah, I mean, think about how many people are out of work at that store. Target was my first job. And I'll tell you that I certainly could not, despite the fact that I was getting like $9 an hour, I could not afford to be out of work for a week because some a-hole, instead of getting the same crappy job, decides to burn down the store where I'm working, and now we're all out of luck except for him.
But they don't think about the average everyday people. And you guys can say whatever you want about Target, about Walmart, about any of these big box stores. But in reality, people like me probably shouldn't be talking crap about people who are so dependent on those low prices, on the thin margins of profit that Target and Walmart make in order to deliver those low prices.
That's another good point, is that a lot of people, you know, that can afford it can just go somewhere else. But what if you don't have a car? What if you are one of those Target employees and you're not only depending on the low prices to begin with, but you're depending on the employee discount? Now you have to go, even if it's right next door and there's a Walmart, you're not getting that discount. Even though the prices are still low, when you're not making that much, every single cent counts. And these people do not care. All they care about is enriching themselves by any means necessary.
To the consumers, because while I might be able to afford to shop somewhere else, while some of you might be able to afford to shop somewhere else, in reality, in actuality, people need those prices, especially in this inflationary environment, in order to make ends meet. So you shutting down the store completely for weeks and weeks, you putting people out of work completely for weeks and weeks in order to steal some TVs, some toasters, whatever you think will have resale value is absolutely disgusting and repugnant behavior.
And it's expected to be closed for the next few weeks as they work to fix what damage that fire left behind. And tonight, I can be the first to report that a suspect possibly linked to starting this fire has been arrested, and they could face more than arson charges.
And
Good. Finally, there's something to arrest these people on. They got so brazen with the new laws, they're like, oh, let's just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And actually, arson is a real felony that will get you arrested.
Of course, it disproportionately affects the poorest among us. And again, if this becomes a trend, people who own businesses in these areas are going to have to start getting fire insurance in order to compensate. And not just fire insurance that covers accidental or electrical fires or anything like that, but stuff that covers arson. That means the rates are going to go up. That means prices are going to go up. Big businesses are going to move out. The small businesses are going to have the squeeze put on them. Not to mention the fact that it's inherently dangerous to set fires in these stores because there's other people in there.
Bingo!
I didn't even think about the inflation part of it, but all of these things together, piled right on top of each other, exactly why this is so ridiculous. Can we please stop simping for criminals? I'm not saying we need to bootlick the cops, but can we please just stop simping for criminals?
It seems incredibly organized and frightening, like frightening.
Cell phone video from inside a Target on J Street in Sacramento is similar to surveillance footage taken in a Citrus Heights Target weeks before.
Again, in California.
shook.
So again, people are
I'm
surprised
shook.
that this is so organized. They're surprised that this is so brazen. They're surprised at the utter disregard for human life and for human safety. As you saw, there was a woman walking with a baby in a stroller nearby where one of these fires were set. But the thing is, you shouldn't be surprised.
I was just about to say, I'm not surprised. And you shouldn't be either. I agree with him. So definitely go check out the rest of the video. He has a lot more details. But, I just wanted to bring this to your attention that this is escalating. This is escalating and it's spreading. That was California. But it's not like it's not happening in New York, and it's not like it's not going to spread everywhere else that allows this to happen. We need to be able to balance not bootlicking the cops and also not sucking up and simping for criminals. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. Thank you so much for partying with me. Once again, I have been your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, I am out of here. Peace.